Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Eric with American Business Systems. Want to welcome you here this afternoon to our webinar. The topic today is launching a new business right for you. And so we're going to talk about several different topics here about, what you got to look for in picking and choosing the right franchise or the business opportunity that's right for you and for maybe for your family and your partners that you're working with. So this is going to be a great webinar. Again, here's my picture. Again, just my name is Eric Auger, and I'll be again part of one of your co-hosts this afternoon. Let me tell you a little bit about American Business Systems. American Business Systems has been around for over 28 years now, practically just 30 years old, and that'll be a great celebration coming up in another year and a half here. This year is going by so quickly. It's just amazing. It won't take long to see the big 3-0 up there for business. And obviously, when you're looking at trying to find the right business opportunity and model, you're going to want to make sure that you're a part of the nation's largest group of anything. And ours is the nation's largest group of independent medical billers. So it's good to be a part of something that's been around for as long as it has. And then obviously for what you get out of it. ABS is part of not only a large group of independent medical billers, but with several different partners. And one partnership that we have here is with NextGen. NextGen is just part of one of the larger group of businesses that ABS is associated with. You can see here in this where it says the ABS partnerships that we have here. Everything from NextGen to Doctables to Dynamax to Compliancy Group. There's hundreds, it seems like, others that we're associated with in some way, form or fashion here. Let me tell you about the founders of American Business Systems. Not only are they the founders of American Business Systems, but they are great friends. Matter of fact, just the other night, Patrick and Linda and my wife and I got to go to dinner. We've been doing that now over 15 years together. And I tell you what a great relationship that my family has had with the Phillips family, and I certainly appreciate that. One of the things that we were talking about are our children, and one of the things that I've been able to see is Adam take over the reins here at American Business Systems over the last few years. Now he is the CEO, where Patrick is. I will still have to say, Patrick, you're still the co-founder of this thing. Linda's the real founder of it. We'll talk about that later. But Adam has taken charge as the CEO. I've known Adam since a lot of his children were babies, and now they are teenagers, and it's amazing to see all of these families grow. And it's just been, again, a pleasure to be a part of the ABS family and the Phillips family here. Patrick, as being the founder, has written several books, written in the process of probably writing some more. He is also a contributing author to a magazine called BC Magazine. This is a bi-monthly magazine that goes out. He's been a contributing editor, author to several articles, and I believe Adam actually has some articles out there in the BC Magazine as well. And he's also the co-founder of an organization called MIRMA. Now, MIRMA is the Medical Revenue Management Association of America. It is this group that you become a part of after you've gone through all the training that you've gone through for ABS. And then what you're going to find out there is that MIRMA is the group that actually certifies you as a certified medical revenue manager. So that becomes part of your initials there, CRMA, why do I always miss it? Certified Medical Revenue Manager, CMRM. So that's part of what you become. It's hard for me to always think about all these different acronyms and everybody else's things. So Patrick, help me out here. I need a little help here with what I'm doing this afternoon.
We've just been doing these webinars for 15 years.
Who knows what other acronyms or alphabet soup things I'll probably say this afternoon. So
the medical healthcare has a lot of acronyms.
Oh my goodness. Absolutely. So Patrick, I know that people are, as they're looking, I know that we got people in here this afternoon, people that'll listen to this a little bit later. There are a lot of people that are trying to figure out really what business to get involved with. And I think what you and I wanted to do this afternoon was kind of take an approach away, really kind of from what we do, the core business of medical billing. And we're going to kind of talk through what is it what do you need to be looking for in getting started with a business? And sometimes, people just kind of need to, as you're evaluating not only ABS, other businesses, and let's make sure that, they've got some of these key components there.
Yeah, like it says here on this next slide, we're going to go over the obstacles that we can discuss today. So let's just take these one by one, Eric, and explain what these are all about.
Sure.
Just briefly, like for example, maybe you don't have enough money to start a business, or at least you don't think you do. We have some solutions we're going to present to you on that.
Yeah.
Don't have enough time. Wow, that's a big one, isn't it, Eric? And how many of our licensees or business owners have started this business that really started it part-time? I mean, they had a full-time job. I'd say a good portion of them.
That's correct. And that can be a little scary at first.
Yeah. I'm unclear of the details in setting up business. How do you set up an LLC or a corporation or a partnership or a sole ownership business, for example?
You're right. And this is one that you're familiar with, because I remember here telling your stories.
Yeah, I had a lot of friends and relatives say that, you shouldn't start your own business, but I'm kind of stubborn. When people say I can't do something, I go and try to do it anyway. And actually, Linda, of course, like you just mentioned a while ago, I'm the co-founder of the company. Linda actually started doing medical billing way back in the early 90s for a friend of ours who had a durable medical equipment company. And, she was billing Medicare for him, and she learned how to do it real fast after a couple of days going to his office. And then some of our friends and relatives who were telling us we shouldn't have started a business started asking us how we, could afford new cars and a new home. And, we were doing really well at one point. And in fact, my brother, Rick, of course, he asked me what kind of drugs I was selling out on the street to be able to make this kind of money, because we were doing real well. Anyway, at one point I decided, you know what? So many people were asking me how that we got started. I thought, well, there's bound to be a market out there for teaching people how to duplicate our success. So that's basically what we have, is a business in a box.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people will say, Patrick, I don't know anything about sales and or marketing, or I can't do that. I mean, that's a big obstacle for sure.
That's a good thing. As you know, Eric, we've told people, if you've got a background in marketing or sales of any kind, you need to forget about 99% of what you've learned, because it's completely different marketing what we market to doctors. It's kind of like selling popsicles in the Sahara Desert. That wouldn't be very hard, right? Well, that's the way we're doing. We're actually selling doctors on the fact that we can bring them more money and save them money and cut down on expenses in their office. So that's an easy sale.
Absolutely.
Setting up a website. We've got some templates that we'll show you here a little bit later that we've already come up with. You don't have to do a thing. I like a particular industry, but I have no background or training in it. Well, if you like healthcare and think that would be a good business to be in, it is. You're going to be surprised at how little training or background you need to get started. I don't know anyone who could advise and support me once I get the business started. That's always a big fear of people when they start a business, is what do I do once I get this thing going if I have problems or questions? Well, we've got that handled too. Don't want to hire and deal with employees. We're going to show you how you don't have to deal with employees. You can use independent contractors and sales reps. Don't want to be confined to a particular territory. Well, you'll see how big our territory is. And what if I get started and don't like the business? Well, tough.
Yeah, and it's many cases it is. It's kind of.
I mean, sorry, I was just being funny, facetious there. Most companies will tell you that, but we've got a solution for that too.
Absolutely. So let's start with this first one. I don't have enough money to start a business, and I think that's probably where it all starts right there, Patrick. A lot of people have a lot of interest in starting a business, and then the next thing is how do we pay for that? And I know that there are franchises have been around for a long time, and so is business opportunities, which is what American business is. So how do we figure out how to pull the money out from somewhere?
Well, there's some things that you need to be aware of. For example, some people go try to borrow the money from the bank, and there's two kinds of loans that are out there. Eric, why don't you talk about these? Your son works for a bank.
Yeah, I got a lot of this information from him. You got a couple of different types of loans that are out there. You've got unsecured loans, and then you've got secured loans. And so that's one way to get the money. Now, let's just kind of talk about the investment before we kind of get started, because Patrick, I mean, the investment could be in a lot of different business opportunities, and franchises can be anywhere from $20,000 up to 250 to $500,000.
Yeah.
You know, in getting it started. You know, whatever you, and whether if you go down a business opportunity route or a franchise type route, or you're just going to try to do it on your own, you know, it's going to cost something. So, you know, whether you're going to use unsecured loans, which you can do with credit cards, we'll talk a little bit about that, or a secured loan. Obviously, those are the two different types to be able to do. But when you go in to do your application, and this is just a little tidbit that I got from my son, who is a banker. He is a vice president of a bank here locally in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And the biggest thing he says, if you're going to walk in and get a loan, don't walk in and ask for a small business loan, because all of a sudden you're going to find yourself going from 2 to 3 pieces of paper to a whole stack of papers, and then it puts you in a complete different category.
Yeah. Whereas
So
if you just ask for a personal loan, maybe you want to, you know, remodel your house or use the money for something else. It doesn't matter to the bank, really. All they really are caring about is whether or not you've got good credit enough to be able to pay that back.
yes.
So ask for a personal loan, and you'll probably be way ahead of trying to get a small business loan.
Yeah, and Patrick, again, let's talk about your investment here. It's just still under $30,000.
Yeah, 28,990. So it's let's say 29,000, and we did that on purpose, for folks. Because you know, you may have a few other expenses. There are sometimes a very few expenses in registering your business name, for example, with your county. That might cost you $20 to $50. You might want to get some business cards. I mean, there are some expenses in starting in business. We're assuming that you have a computer and a cell phone. That's about all you need to run the business. But that gets you still under $30,000. Eric, I don't know of many businesses that you can start nowadays for under 30.
Yeah, anything that has any salt to it, so to say. And we've done webinars, Patrick, showing that, you know, you can get your return on investment with just one doctor, and usually within the first year. So those are some of the things you need to be looking for. Toby is asking a quick question, and we'll move right on from here, but is asking, can I review this webinar later? Yes, we are recording today's webinar. And yes, you can ask for a copy of the presentation. So just get back with the person that invited you today, and they'll be happy to get you a PDF of all of our slides that we're showing this afternoon. So let's talk about another way in which you can get some money. If you own a home, interest rates are still reasonable enough where you might go get an equity loan of your home. You may have, you know, enough there. And usually, again, just kind of a little tidbit information. Usually whenever you're trying to pull money out of your house, you need to have a little bit more than 80%, you know, that you've already kind of got paid off, because what they'll do, anything under 80% of what you own your home, they'll usually be able to lend you that back to you, and they'll just add it back into your principal of what you've got there. And you know, again, for a $30,000 investment, to kind of get started here with us, you know, it's still a reasonable thing, and it probably take you about 2 to 3 weeks to get that. And so that's a great way to pull some money out of what you already own, and then you got the asset there in your home. So if you ever needed to sell your home, you've already got yourself reimbursed that way. Or again, you're going to go out there and go get the business and just put that money right back into your home equity.
Sure.
Yeah.
And Eric, people shouldn't forget the fact that they can borrow the money from themselves.
Yes.
If you've got credit cards, you can go and borrow your own money. And folks, don't laugh at this. Is Robert Kiyosaki. You know, he's the guy that wrote the Rich Dad, Poor Dad book that sold millions of copies. He says that this is how he started his business. He just put it on a credit card and then paid it back. Now, the interest might be higher than you want, but folks, it's not probably as high as what the bank's going to charge you for a loan. So you might as well just go, if you don't have a credit card, just go apply for one and see what kind of you know, limit you can get. We've had people, Eric, as you know, put you know, several thousand on one and then a few thousand on another. I mean, you can split it up if you want to and put it on several cards to get your, so you're just loaning the money to yourself, basically.
Yeah, and Patrick, I mean, some of these carry a 0%, interest rate for a year or 18 months. And so,
That's
and
true.
then the next year you're doing so well, again, just roll that over to another low interest or no interest card. And so there are ways in which you can do this, and I think one of the things, Patrick, I think, you and I've been at this long enough for us to be very transparent to the point where the last thing we want you to do is go put yourself in a bind. Obviously you need to really consider, do you have the capital or access to capital in which that you can move forward. And so, Patrick, I know that you have counseled many people, and after you talk to them, you go, you know what, once you give it a year, just work, get yourself where you need to be, and then come back, and we're going to still be here. I remember starting with you 14, 15 years ago thinking, gosh, I wonder how long ABS is really going to be around.
It's funny because I've always said that as long as there are human beings who get sick, who go to the doctor, somebody has to bill somebody to get the doctor paid. And that might as well be you, because there's
Absolutely
big money in this industry, as you'll see.
Yeah, and then there's all different types of funding now that's out there that you can do this. It's pretty creative.
Yeah, just be sure and get back with, again, the person who invited you to this. Go back to find your email, or at the end here, we'll give you an email address that you can just send it to, and basically say, hey, I'm not sure who my rep is, but I want to know more about, getting funding. We have partners who work with our people to get funding.
There you go. Absolutely. Yeah. All right, Patrick, let me remind everybody that's on here, if you have any questions, feel free to ask those questions in the Q&A area, and then Patrick and I will do what we can to do that. I think another obstacle, Patrick, again, people, they may have the capital, but now they're going to try to figure out, if I've got the money, how do I squeeze one more hour in a day, because I already work a 40+ hour week already.
And Eric, again, I think there's a very high percentage, maybe 80% even, of the people who come through who are working a full-time job and who, start this thing in what we call our off hours.
Right.
So you'll see that you can work at your own pace. We have no quotas. You don't have to report to us. It's your business. You can set it on the shelf if you don't want to, work it for a while, and then eventually start it back up. And about half of them started their business part-time. So that's a good thing to know, that there's people out there who have done this even in their spare time. Some franchisees will not accept you unless you do it full-time. And we're not like that. We just say, it's your business. You can do it whenever you can. We show you how to find, hire, and train sales reps, for example, that can go out and get the contracts for you. And a lot of doctors can't be seen during regular business hours. So Eric, as you know, we've had our licensees go out and set up appointments with them before and after regular business hours, meet them for breakfast, go on the weekends. Saturday mornings are great. We can show you how to do this if you're determined to start your own business.
Yes, absolutely. And so there's ways around to kind of help you kind of get started. I think one of the biggest ones there that some may have already caught your eye is sales reps. And we're going to show you a little bit about how you can do that, because I can promise you this, there are medical sales reps out there already who already have relationships with doctors. All you need to do is find those folks. And if you can find those folks and kind of tell them a little bit about your business, they're going to find somebody. Patrick, I've worked with several people that know doctors, and they know that their billing's hurting. And so, you build relationships with people that are kind of the warmest of the warm market to these doctors, and you'd be surprised how quickly you can start picking up your business and make that full-time transition when you're ready.
Yep.
How about unclear on the details of setting up businesses? It's surprisingly, Patrick, this can be an obstacle for people. They think, okay, well, I've got the money, I think I've got the time, but you know what? I just don't know how to set up a business.
Yeah, so we don't assume anything, folks. We're going to guide you, for example, on naming your business. It's very important that you name it correctly. We've had some people name them pretty bizarre things, and they don't think about how important that is that you name it correctly. We'll teach you how to set up your business. Is it a corporation you want to set up, or an LLC, a partnership, a sole ownership? And if you're not sure on all those things, we're going to go through what all that means. And we show you the tools that allow you to create your own logo, or
Right.
you can pay to have it professionally designed. And then, of course, what equipment do you need and what do you not need? I think I mentioned earlier, basically a computer and a cell phone is all you really need nowadays. And we'll also show you how to find cheap business cards and other printing,
Yep.
because we have sources. In fact, as you know, Eric, one of our own licensees, owns a printing company in Arkansas that will do printing
Correct.
for our other licensees.
Absolutely. Yeah. So in a part about that unclear of the details in setting up a business, remember that all the different partnerships that I was showing you earlier, you don't have to go even coordinate setting all that up. I mean, when you get plugged into ABS, you're plugged into everything here. And like Patrick just said, even printing companies that we have that we do business with already. So if there's certain things that you need, we've pretty much got that, whether it's from legal stuff to getting hooked up with the iClaim system or printers or whatever else you need. ABS has done an incredible job of making sure that they themselves are the one-stop shop that you're going to need for everything, and give you a lot of freedom there. Patrick, I know that the next thing that we're going to talk about is one of the biggest obstacles. Let's just kind of talk through this. They have the money, they may have the time, they're pretty certain that they can get through kind of getting the business set up. Now comes some of the biggest challenges, and that is people.
Yeah, dealing with friends and relatives that say, no, you shouldn't start a business, you're going to fail, you blah blah blah. Well, kind of like this guy here, this may be your brother-in-law, maybe ladies, maybe this is your husband who's not wanting you to start a business. There's lots and lots of reasons why they'll try to give you not to start a business. But folks, we have the answers to all of that as well.
Absolutely. And part of the big thing that you need early on is credibility. And we show you and partner with you to give you that credibility. And Patrick, this is a great time to talk about our relationship, ABS's relationship with Dr. Vicki Rackner, and then the relationship that's given to a brand new business owner here at ABS.
Yeah, this is one of her most recent books. And again, folks, we've partnered with Dr. Rackner. She's a retired general surgeon, but she now helps people like our company who want people to connect with doctors. How do you make that connection? How do you get past that invisible bulletproof glass there in the office? How do you get something into their hands past the gatekeeper? Well, Dr. Vicki, of course, having been in practice herself, knows the answer to all those questions and shares that with our licensees. By the way, I'm referring to our business owners that purchase our business package as licensees because we license our entire system to people to use. That's all that means, kind of like a franchisee. But look what she says here. Physicians in private practice walk away from an average of 30% of their income. Now, that would get my attention if I were a doctor reading this book. Outsourcing your medical billing could bring claim rejection rates to as low as 2 to 5%. Now, folks, most doctors have initial rejection rates when they send those claims into the insurance companies of somewhere between 20 and 30%. So we, having our own clearinghouse built into our system, we get that down to less than 2%. Mm-hmm. She says this may be the fastest and easiest way to increase your cash flow. So think of the power of partnering with a doctor who says these kinds of things to other doctors who read her books.
And remember, again, the reason why your friends and relatives, and they may be they're looking out for your best interest. And obviously, we know that there are some who just don't want you to succeed anyway. But a lot of people are going to say, well, Eric or Patrick or Toby or Mike or whoever Lord is, who's ever on here, they may say to you, well, how are you going to get a doctor? You don't know anything about billing, or again, you don't have the credibility in this. Again, that's that 28 plus years of being with ABS gives you that credibility. Partnering Dr. Vicki Rackner. And then this next slide talks about how we actually do your demonstrations for you. So imagine that you have the expertise here, the 28 plus years of expertise on billing, and we've shown you through the training of saying this is how you connect with doctors and get them to the table, so to say. You're going to do a practice analysis, do a full discovery disclosure with them, and do some very professional things with them, and then get them. All you're going to do is invite them to a demo, a one-on-one demonstration of the software between the doctor, you and our demo team, and walk them through their struggles of what you kind of collected on that practice analysis, and have that demonstrator kind of pull all of this together. You could start next week and already have a demo, and then in the next 30 days have a doctor that you're doing billing for.
Yeah, so again, folks, we have staff that do these demos for you. All you do is just attend the meeting, just like you're sitting here attending this one, and you're listening to us do the demo, walking the doctor through, answering all the questions for the doctor and the office staff. And Eric, as you know, we close about 50% of the doctors who attend those demos, because that's how impressive our cloud-based system is.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, folks, we're getting close to the bottom of the hour. I'm just going to remind you again, we've got just over 30 minutes left. So if there's any questions that you have, feel free to ask those questions. Hopefully, maybe we're just answering the questions as we're kind of just stepping through this. Another obstacle, again, Patrick, is probably one of the biggest things, and that is about sales and marketing. I think probably people can say, I've got the money, I've got the time, I don't care what my relatives and friends say about me, I'm ready to go, but this frightens me out of my pajamas here. This is just an area I do not feel comfortable with.
Yeah, I felt the same way, really, Eric, when my wife started doing the billing for that friend that I mentioned earlier. Of course, then I had to figure out, well, how do I go out and actually find more clients for her to build the business? And I didn't have anything to start out with. But look at these professional brochures, for example, that we've had developed. We've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars literally on all of our marketing ideas and materials, folks, just so that you don't have to recreate anything from scratch.
Right.
Don't those all look like they're a part of a package that's all concise and contiguous? In other words, it all matches. Well, that's because it's all designed by a professional graphic artist. You could come up with something similar to this maybe and print it out on your inkjet printer, but it would not be as impressive as these 8.5 by 11 full color glossy flyers that we have.
Right. And again, that's just part of the sales and marketing. It goes even further about how to do the marketing and kind of stepping you through this. And how do you talk with people that are your friends and your relatives? And when you get the confidence, and Patrick, you and I've done an entire webinar of the importance of having confidence in what you're about to go do. You need to know this. And part of your confidence is knowing that we're behind you. And so whether you're using kind of the old fashioned flip chart, which still is very effective, or you're going to do it on an electronic iPad of some sort, and you kind of just flip through the information, we're going to show you what you do for doctors. And it all comes out of a book called The New Thriving Medical Practice. Now, this too is an incredible marketing piece for you, because again, talk about stepping up your credibility. How about we put your name on the front of the book? Patrick, you want to kind of take it from there and why we even do that?
Yeah, you can see on the bottom there, forward by Susan Smith. That's just a fake name, but that's CMRM. There's those 4 initials that go after your name once you've graduated through our training. But that stands for Certified Medical Revenue Manager. And folks, you have the right, through us, of course, as a part of our package, we give you these books that allow you to put your name not on the cover only, but on the title page and at the end of the forward. So we've got a standard forward that you can just put your contact information right at the end of it. And it looks like you are a part of this book. Well, you are. I mean, you've partnered by joining ABS. You've joined partnership with Dr. Vicki Ragnar as well.
Absolutely. And talk about the credibility again. And like we said, we've already got a forward ready for you to go with. If you like it, fine. If you want to rewrite it and put your twist on it, you can certainly do that. but just having that as part of your marketing campaign, that again gives you that credibility and sharing this. Now, Toby again asked earlier, can I get a copy of what we're presenting to you today? Can you listen to this over again? Yes, and we want you to, because we want to let this kind of sink in of what you're getting here with ABS. And if you're looking at other business opportunities, you need to be asking them, do you have this? Do you have support? And the cost of your support here at ABS is already in your initial fee. It's already there, and it's for a lifetime. You don't have to pay anything extra for any of your support and everything else that goes along with that. But again, that's just part of it. You're giving books out, you're doing the practice analysis, you're going to get doctors prepared for the demonstrations, and then we're going to show you how to use a campaign, a marketing campaign that still works today, and that's actually receiving cards in the mail. Patrick, it's nice to get something in the mail once in a while besides a bill.
Yeah, and if it comes in a standard greeting card envelope, they're not your business size envelopes. It's just a little square. I never throw those away, Eric, because I don't know who it's from. I don't know if there's money inside or a gift card. And so they do get opened. Believe it or not, this is a part of what we call our follow-up system. Mm-hmm. So we teach you how to market to doctors, but now they're not all going to say, yes, sign me up today. So what we do is they put them on what's called a campaign, a series of cards that they get. They can all be personalized, as you see here, with your own copy and fonts and colors and everything, even add pictures to it if you want to, and your logo. And Eric, these things really do work. You and I have proven that, haven't we?
Yes. Yeah, Patrick and I have tested just about every marketing campaign that we have here. He and I have gone out and marketed to doctors because you know what? People ask, well, does this really work? And Patrick and I took some time and said, well, let's go make sure all this stuff works. Let's see if we can get a doctor by utilizing all of our marketing techniques without anybody knowing that we are who we are with ABS. And we certainly did that on several different occasions. So all of these techniques work.
Yeah, and I failed to mention, you can see that it is an online system, but folks, it's even better than that. You don't print these out now.
Right.
These are all printed and mailed and stuffed in an envelope and addressed offline by our company that we've partnered with for this. So it's a wonderful way. If I had not had this, Eric, I would have invented this myself because it's a great follow-up system.
You bet. And then another obstacle, Patrick, is this website. And people, I've built websites. I've built websites for other people. We've done some other little projects here and there. And I tell you, probably the thing that slows me down the most is putting together a good website.
Yeah, so we've made that simple. We've come up with a dozen or so templates, we call them, where we can put your logo, your company name, your contact information. We set it up for you behind the scenes. That's included in your licensing fee that we mentioned earlier. So you just pick the one that you like. You can even change the graphics on it to make it a little bit more unique. And all the pages are already there for all of our services. So you don't have to create anything from scratch. Literally, Eric, somebody could pay several $1,000s to have one of these websites designed. We've done that all for you.
Absolutely. And now you've kind of gone through all of everything and you go, look, I've got the money, I've got the time. I don't care what my family or friends say. I think I can get over all these other obstacles, but now getting trained in this, what happens here now with this, Patrick?
Well, the nice thing is we call it the ABS advantage. Basically, folks, we have the billing system, which is called iClaim. We have our electronic medical record system called EMRX. I mentioned earlier that we have our own clearinghouse and we have a patient portal. All of this is an integrated system online in the cloud that you can reach from anywhere in the world that has an internet connection. And that's all included in your license fee.
And you get all the different training. Patrick, all these different training modules. We're going to talk about, even about how this works to the people's advantage here in just a little bit. But each one of these modules takes what, 2 to 3, 4 hours at a time to go through?
Well, all total, you only spend about 15 to 20 hours for what we call these initial modules. Now, folks, these are done online with a personal instructor. In other words, someone that we've hired, we've paid, who's actually a licensee themselves, by the way. We don't use anybody that's not actually in this business. And they will teach you exactly what you need to know step by step through all of these modules. Again, there's much more training besides this, but it's a great way to get started. And literally, most people can get through this in the first, 30 days easily.
Absolutely. Yep. And that's important because Patrick's going to share with you about the whole 30-day thing here in just a little bit. Again, another obstacle. I just don't know anyone who could advise and support me once I get the business started. Again, Patrick, it's amazing of all the franchises that are out there and the business opportunities that are out there that a lot of these people haven't done that own business anyway. I mean, some of them may have, but they're busy running that business too. Patrick, you've been at this nearly 30 years, and you and Linda have done billing. Everybody else around here has done some billing, and they know what's going on. But you've hired, and not only hired, but the whole ABS support team is other licensees.
Right. I don't hire anybody that's not, well versed in the business enough to where they've actually started their own business. And we are the nation's largest network of independent medical billing companies out there. So when you become a part of ABS, you become a part of that network and can have access to all of those people. For example, here's a shot of our office out in California that actually has support people that are just sitting there waiting to support you on our services. We have technology partners, and Eric, I've added up all together. We have over 100 people with all of our companies that partner with us that can support our licensees.
And then on top of that is a website called ABS licensee support site. And I think we want to try to go out for that live. So while you kind of chitty chat there, Patrick, I'll see if I can switch it out there and go out to the live version here.
Yeah. So folks, what you're looking at there, that's the opening page of what we call our licensee support site. We just refer to it as the LSS. But that is where you will have access to your own login, password, and ID, for example, and you'll be able to log into that anytime you want to. And all of a sudden, you have access to everything that's out there. And if you look there, Eric is actually live on the site right now. He's just going through some of the menus that you see there to show you how complete this is. Now, folks, this has been out there for, maybe 14, 15 years. And so it has literally hundreds of training videos, documents, contracts, marketing ideas. It's just a wonderful resource for anybody who thinks that they want to get into this business. We've got everything they need right there. And you can watch those anytime, 24/7 on your iPad or your phone or anything else. It's just a wonderful resource for people who want to feel like they can get support, even in the middle of the night. If they wake up and decide, oh, I want to know more about something, this is where you can go and get that.
Yeah, I'm just kind of just going through this, Patrick. I mean, there's just tons of information that again you can go through. Some of the new information here also is what you said earlier, and we're going to get to here in just a moment. But every other Friday, you do what's called a roundtable recording, or a roundtable where there are other folks that are part of that are already business owners already, and what you get to do is do this all the time. And then you've got another one that's coming up here shortly, and gosh, I mean, you got things happening all the time here.
Yeah, it's a great way to get to know other licensees, to hear from other people, their success stories, the challenges that they're facing. And so, folks, you don't become just lost in the crowd. You stay a part of our family of business owners from coast to coast, and everybody's helping everybody. We even have a Facebook group out there that you can join. And there's a look there, Eric, we are almost at 200 members on that now. Yep. So we're really excited about that. It's a private group, of course, that you'll have to be invited to join when you become an ABS licensee. And then you'll have access to those roundtables. These are at least monthly, sometimes twice a month, but they're great because they're using Zoom. We let people just jump in there with their webcam on if they want to or not. They can raise their hand and talk and ask questions. It's like a conference call, but you get to see everybody's faces. And Eric, this has been a tremendous success. Everybody who attends these say, this is what we've needed for some time. We just started these a couple of months ago.
You bet. Yeah. And this is a great way of support. But then you got MIRMA. And Patrick, I think you wanted to share a little bit more about the MIRMA.
Yeah, you mentioned that at the very beginning, the MIRMA.org is the site. Folks, you can go out there and check this out, and you'll see that we have a great number of people who are CEOs and owners of other businesses that have partnered with us as part of our advisory board. And MIRMA puts together webinars to continue to train you. Yes. I think the next slide is a shot of one of the Vimeo screens where we store these videos. But folks, if you scroll down on that page, you would see that there's just literally dozens. We've been putting stuff out there again for several years. So absolutely. Lots and lots of training that's available to you through MIRMA.
Yeah. And then you got your trainers and coaches. Again, these are the folks these are licensees that are out there, and they're doing billing for all sorts of doctors. And they started right where you are and asked the same questions that we're kind of going through. How am I going to pay for it? How am I going to get trained? How am I going to transition from a full-time job to a business opportunity like ABS? All of these people here have gone through that. And again, these people are, I'm kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but these same people are here to help you already, to talk with you now.
Yes, we'll give you a way that you can get a list of these people to actually talk to them on the phone, even before you've decided that you want to move forward and invest.
And then Patrick, another obstacle, kind of dealing with what we've just gone through there. Some people don't want to have to deal with hiring and dealing with employees, and that can be difficult at times.
Yeah, I don't blame them. That's not fun. So what we have done is we teach people to hire what are called independent contractors. We'll show you how to find these people. They're out there ready to go to work on their computers, working from their homes. They can do the actual billing for you if you want to hire somebody to help you with that, once you can't handle it yourself, for example. And then if you want people to bring you contracts without you doing any marketing, we'll show you how to find and hire and train and pay on commission only sales reps.
Right.
So it's a wonderful way of just letting your business run, and all you do is oversee it.
Yeah, there you go. Folks, again, let me just tell you, we got about 15 minutes left of the webinar. And so if, again, you got any other last minute questions, we are just about to wrap up here. So, but Patrick, another thing that people might be concerned about are territories. How do you judge whether there's a licensee or a ABS business owner next to me in my same zip code or my own hometown or even in my own state? What's the deal with territory restrictions?
Well, first of all, let me show you what your territory is. It's the entire United States, including Alaska and Hawaii. So folks, you're not restricted in any way to a territory like you would if you opened a Subway sandwich shop, for example. You can only 2 miles radius. We have opened this up because there are so many doctors and other types of medical providers out there that need help that we've just never had a problem with competition. Now, we wouldn't even be talking to you, for example, if we knew that there were people in your area that were actively marketing to doctors in your area. We always talk with people only if we know that there's plenty of business out there, and we can even do a research on some databases that we have to show you how many doctors there are in your area. There's almost 1 million medical providers in the United States, so you only need a small handful of those doctors to make a full-time
Absolutely.
income.
Absolutely. All right. What if I get started and don't like the business?
Well, here's the answer to that. All sales are final. I'm just kidding, of course. That's true with every other business opportunity and franchise that I know of out there, Eric. I don't know of anybody who offers a 100% risk-free money-back guarantee. And it's real simple, folks. If in the first 30 days you go through our training, you decide, you know what, this is not what I thought it was, give me my money back, we issue you a check that day. That's how simple it is. We don't want to deal with anybody who doesn't want to be in the business anyway. And so we've decided to do that. Now, ask any other company that you're dealing with why they don't have a money back guarantee.
Right.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah. Yeah, because they don't want to, they just got that sale. They don't want to lose their own sale. And so they don't do that. ABS has, again, been around, like I said, going on 30 years here. And, you know, for them to continue to offer a risk-free money back 100% guarantee, you know, that goes a long way. So folks, you need to really consider about where you're putting your money, and what kind of rewards you're going to get out of that, because that's going to be help you to really make the wisest decision. Patrick, before we get into the next steps here, because we're coming towards the end of the webinar, Toby's put up a question over here, and I'm just going to kind of read this through and we can kind of talk about it. Now, Toby, we've kind of gone through the numbers in another webinar before, but Toby says he's got a friend that works in a dentist office, billing department. She handles 2 units. She helped claims about $100,000 per unit. So that's about $200,000 in combination. She only gets paid $20 an hour, works a 40-hour week. So she's only making $800, you know, per week, $3,200 a month. How does ABS get all of that money and charge 6%? That's $12,000. Why would the doctor be convinced to pass that information or that billing over to them?
Well, the piece that's missing there, Eric, in that question is how much more money can we bring in for the doctor that they're not bringing in right now? Let's say their rejection rate on that 200,000 is 20% even. There's $40,000 right there. You see that goes out the window. We can collect up to 98% of that money. So only 2% of that would be lost. So even though you may be paying, the doctor might be paying you $12,000 at 6%, you can still bring in more money. So the bottom line is, what if I bring you another $40,000 in income that you wouldn't have had otherwise? Would you pay me $12,000? That's the question. And besides, you don't have to charge 6%. I don't know where they got the 6%, but it could be for this particular doctor, maybe you charge 5 or 4%. You still would make a lot of money. 4% would be what, $8,000 a month on this account.
Absolutely. Well, Toby, so let me suggest this. Get back with the person that invited you here to this webinar. Ask them to kind of walk you through the practice analysis. That will help you answer your question. And you know, there's a lot more that the doctor is spending on an employee than just $20 an hour too. So there are other factors here that are not being considered. You know, the doctors are having to pay for their own software, probably clearinghouse fees. There's a lot of things that's again, Patrick said that they're going to be missing out of all of this, that you'll find out. So the biggest thing is, get back with the person who invited you to the webinar today. Ask them to kind of go through an entire practice analysis and the demonstration of the software, which we'll talk about here in just a second. Patrick, let's talk about now the next steps. We've kind of gotten to the end here. We've got a little bit of time left to kind of go through these, however fast or however slow you want to go through these.
Yeah, so if you're still interested in wanting to know more about how to get started with this, folks, it's real simple. There's 6 steps here that we recommend. Number 1 is a research guide. Now, this is a PDF document, and we could just have it on our website, but folks, this is for people who are only really seriously interested in moving forward. So it's proprietary information. We don't just stick it out there on the web. We ask that you request this specifically from the person that you've been dealing with. So again, get back with that person and say, I want your research guide, and they'll send you a link to that. Over 65 pages of information in there. Yeah, and number 2 is our YouTube channel. We have a channel out there on youtube.com/why ABS. If you go take a look at that, there's a shot of it right there. You'll see there are literally, Eric, I think there's hundreds. We used to say dozens, but I think there's over maybe 200 or 300 videos. This is you and I over the years doing webinars and other testimonial videos and things from other people that you won't find on our website. So go browse around on that. Yeah, and the next step is this one here, which is, of course, licensee references. We mentioned this earlier, but just ask the person who invited you to this webinar to see what we call our owner reference list. These are the people we mentioned earlier that are real licensees doing business all over the country. They're from coast to coast, and they've agreed to take phone calls from people like yourself who want to know more from somebody who's actually gone through the training, did their due diligence, invested the money, and now they're relying on us for support. And next step is just basically ask for that demo that Eric mentioned earlier. We can do one of those demos for you. So basically our demo guy is up there in the upper left corner of this image. Then there's the doctor, and then there's you. We do that for you, for your doctor prospective clients at no extra charge. That's included, folks, in this price. Eric, I'm convinced I should be charging something for these demos because they're so dynamic. But at this point, they're all included.
They really are. I mean, that's you know, this alone, one of these can, think about it, one of these demonstrations or two of these demonstrations could literally get your return on investment back faster than what you can even imagine.
Yeah, we haven't gone through a breakdown on this webinar as to what kind of money you can make, but folks, we've got plenty of other webinars out there on the YouTube channel that you can watch that ask the question, how much can I make? And you'll see with one good doctor, you can make back your investment in this business in the first year. Okay, and of course, the purchase agreement, it's just a 4-page document, as you can see right here. Not very legalese at all, very simple, straightforward, plain language, has our guarantee in it as well. And so just ask for a copy of that from your ABS rep. They'll send that to you. As soon as you get it and you've got your funding figured out and put together, just submit all that to us, and we'll let you get with your instructor that's going to be teaching you those 10 initial modules. And we'll let you set that up with them over the phone, or I think, you know, they use Zoom usually to set that up.
Yeah.
And they'll just talk with you about, you know, what's your schedule? How can we work this in? So you and your spouse or a partner can be on these trainings from even 2 different locations if you want to. And our instructor, of course, is at their office actually doing the training using slides and things like we do here. So it's a tried and true and a proven system, isn't it, Eric?
Absolutely. You got everything, you know, neatly packaged. We've got everything kind of step by step of what you need to do. And folks, I would encourage you, don't skip a step through this. I mean, get that research guide, browse that YouTube channel, go back and find some things there that, you know, just like today's webinar, you know, you might want to go back and listen to this one again, and invest your time wisely now on calling those licensee references, and then invest some time in doing that demo. And along with that demo, again, if you're taking notes here, make sure that you're asking your rep here at ABS to kind of take you through that practice analysis, because it kind of, Toby's got a great question there. I appreciated the question of, you know, if the doctor's paying employees, why would they pay me? And it seems like they're paying me more than what they have employees for. Right. So you invest the time now with what you got to do. Then once you, again, kind of made your decision, get that purchase agreement, review that, and, you know, get your funding, get your training. And remember, even after your funding, you've got 30 days to evaluate here to find out if this is still the right business model. So you're going to go through all the training, and at the end of that training, you feel like it's still not the right thing for you, then again, you ask for your money back. What else? I think, Patrick, we've laid it out as simple and as easy as possible for anybody to kind of figure out which business is the right business, questions to ask, other business opportunities that are out there. So, well, hopefully we've given everybody a lot of information. So,
yeah, Eric, I want to invite people to be sure and go back to our website, absystems.com, and up in the top, it says you can join a live webinar. You can also see some replays there of some of our
Yes.
past webinars. But usually it takes about 24 hours. So sometime this time tomorrow, we'll have updated that link so that you can register for next week's, because we do these every Wednesday at 4 o'clock Central Time. Next week, we're talking about the healthcare entrepreneurs share their experiences with ABS. So you'll be able to hear from some of the licensees who've gone through our training and what they think about the training, and those who've started their business and gotten clients, how they got their clients, and what kind of revenue they're bringing in. It's much better than hearing from me and Eric, because I never know whether Eric is telling all the facts or not. You know, you never know.
It. After 14 years, 15 years, he still can't trust me. Oh boy.
I'm just kidding. Folks, you won't find any company that's more transparent than we are. We literally would let you fly down here if you wanted to and visit us in our home. We would show you anything that you want to know about this business. And in fact, licensees have been known to let people come and visit them at their offices. Some of them have actually opened offices. And, you know, with the proper arrangements ahead of time, they'll let you come and just sit and ask them questions and look at their operation and see that it's for real. Because folks, there's nothing more real than seeing somebody actually running their business and doing what we have taught them to do, some of them without any background or training whatsoever. And they're sitting there making, you know, 6-figure incomes. So just be sure and ask for that reference list and at least talk to some of them on the phone.
You bet.